Hello everybody, welcome to the last week of distance learning. I know when we started this journey together, we were not prepared for it, we didn't expect it, and we all rose above the challenges. We have conquered distance learning, and it's something that we will all truly remember for a very long time. I want to thank you guys for adapting so quickly and being able to persevere and get through this challenging time. And you should be proud of the work that you've done this year. Before I get too sappy, let's go ahead and talk about the conclusion. It is only seems right that this final week we're writing the conclusion to our essay and we're concluding our journey for online learning all in the same week. So let's review the parts of a conclusion. We remember from earlier in the year that our conclusion is where we tie together all of the ideas that we had in our essay. We're going to restate our claim. We're going to restate our reasons, and we're going to give a kicker and a lingering thought. So remember that we think about a conclusion as the triangle, and it starts broad and gets more narrow, which was the opposite of our introduction, where we started narrow with the hook and then went broad into our reasons, okay? So these are the things that we're gonna include. And as I have the other weeks, I'm going to model for you what my conclusion looks like for the penny essay that I have been writing. Hopefully you have found it useful to be able to watch the video and see how I'm putting the ideas together, and you're able to use and implement that in your writing. So with a conclusion, we want to start out with a transition, and one of the most common transitions people will use is in conclusion. On your transitions toolbox and in on the internet in general, you can search for multiple ways to transition into a conclusion paragraph. For the purposes of today, I'm just going to start out with in conclusion, but those of you who can, I'm going to challenge you to try to use a transition that is going to challenge your writing. So to improve your writing, we would want to use something other than in conclusion, because that's one of the more common ones. And when somebody's reading your essay, they want your paper to stand out from others. So those of you who wish to do that, I'm going to challenge you to use something in yours other than in conclusion. You can use your transitions toolbox or even the internet to find one. All right, so I'm going to say in conclusion, and then I'm going to restate my claim. So I'm going to do that in blue. It is obvious why America should, and then I'm going to go to red because this is like the point that I'm making in the whole essay, that America should stop producing and using pennies. So remember that this is restating the claim, but it is not done in exactly the same way as we did it in our introduction. We want to try to use synonyms for words where we can, change the order. We want it to look different than it did in our introduction. So you're going to want to go back and look at your introduction and make sure that whatever you write to restate your claim is done in a different way. All right, so then I'm going to restate my reasons again in a different way. So you're gonna have to go back and look at how you did it in your introduction to make sure you use different words and make it sound different. All right, so I'm gonna do my reasons in red just to make it clear that it's a restatement of my reasons. And points are always made in red. And we know that the reasons came from our brain. So those are our points. So I'm gonna go ahead and use red to show you that. They are a waste of money. Because remember, we said that they were too expensive to make. So they're a waste of money, and they hold very little value in our daily lives. Okay, so my two reasons were that they cost too much money to make, and people don't take them seriously. So I changed around the words here a little bit to say that they hold very little value in our daily lives. And then the rest of it's going to be in black because the rest of it is my own original thought. So my kicker in my lingering thought, you want to leave the reader truly understanding the points that you were making in your essay, and give them something to think about at the end, but not something to think about meaning should they believe you or not, but just something that kind of solidifies your ideas. So I'm going to say that if the money that is spent making pennies was spent on a more useful purpose that we could all benefit from, that would be something we would feel good about. Okay, so that kind of makes the connection that money could be spent on other things that people need if they're not useful anyway. And if it was helping other people, that would make us feel good. And so here's where I'm going to do the lingering thought. And this is where you want to try to make the person reading it really have a connection with what you're saying. So I'm going to say, remember, and sometimes it can be a call to action. Sometimes we call the end like a call to action. So something that makes the person feel like they should do something about what you're saying. So remember, one of our purposes in life is to help others. Giving up this small coin, giving up this small coin could be the first step. Okay, and that's it. So the conclusion consists of restating your claim and reasons in a different way, giving a kicker or kind of an overall idea, and then leaving the reader with a lingering thought, something to think about. Okay, so that is going to be the conclusion. And for this week, you are going to be submitting everything that you've submitted so far. So the introduction, both body paragraphs, corrected based on my feedback, and your conclusion paragraph. That is going to be part of your grade for this week. So please make sure that you get it submitted and that you make the corrections based on the feedback I had given you up to this point, so that the only thing left that hasn't been corrected will be your conclusion. Remember, in the remind message and on the Canvas announcement, you're being asked to complete your work by Wednesday of this week, which is why I'm posting it early. You're not required to post it by Wednesday, but those of you who do post it by Wednesday will receive some extra credit points. And posting it early will help me get everything graded in a timely manner before my grades are due. And hopefully it will help you if you need to focus on your other classes here in the home stretch. So thank you guys again. And I have enjoyed the journey with you this year. I wish that I could have enjoyed the last 9 weeks in the classroom with you. But again, we overcame, conquered. Now we're at the end of our journey, and I'll see you guys all in the hallways next year. Have a great summer.